Hello, I'm Chris Cook, and you're watching Mankato Motorsports.
What? I don't think I'm gonna sell it anymore.
It's been a somewhat slow start to the year. We're finally getting a few parts in and getting the cars kind of started going back together. We've done a few things. Uh, YouTube's not been one of them, so I've decided to jump back into that, and we did get a few parts in today, so I figured I'd do a quick unboxing video. Uh, the car started out as a small block Ford deal, and we stayed with that for a really long time. But from 2022 to 2023, we figured out that we were lacking a little power, so we made us an engine change, and we swapped to another small block. And sadly, we were building a fairly big cubic inch small block Ford, and a little something come along that we could probably get in the car and get racing a little quicker, so we went ahead and bought it. And it happens to be a small block Chevrolet, so probably gonna take a little heat on that, but I'd rather be racing and being made fun of over what engine choice we made as to be at home and waiting on an engine to get finished. So here we are. But this engine was a used engine, and its application was not drag racing. So we had to make a few changes to the engine to be able to make it to where it's going to operate kind of on the way we need. So one of the changes was a camshaft, and for that we went to Bullitt, and Bullitt makes a lot of really good camshafts, and a lot of good knowledge there. And we talked with our buddy Wes Snow, and he really recommended them. So we got with Bullitt and got us a camshaft. It's already here, and it's actually already in the car. But it's about 100 thousandths more lift than the cam that was in the car. So we end up doing a valve spring change, and I got with Bullitt, and they knew all the specs on my cam. So it looks like they have recommended a set of pack 1226 springs, and this should be good to 800 lift. And here's what we got. The Chevrolet stuff's quite a bit different. I really thought, this being a fairly large set of heads, that we could go with a really big valve spring. The problem is if you go with the valve spring that's bigger than the 155s, there's a head bolt that sits between two cylinders that you'd never get the nut off of for my particular set of heads. So I opted just to go back with a 155 spring. And talking with the guys at Bullitt, and this is what I appreciate about talking with somebody that kind of knows what they're doing, because I'd have probably missed this. As they were asking me my install height, which is a pretty common question when you're ordering springs and such, they're looking for a certain amount of spring pressure, and installed height seems to, it's going to really affect that amount of spring pressure at a certain amount of lift. So unfortunately, they didn't have any like shims for the springs in stock. So we actually had to go to Summit to get the springs, but we opted to go with the same brand pack. And this kit here Comes with 16 of each size shim. And we've got, these are a 50,000 shim. We got some 30,000 shims, 20,000 shims, 15,000 shims. And so we're going to actually tighten up the installed height about 90 thousandths to make this set of springs operate. The good thing is we opted to go with a spring that that was a little stronger than we actually needed. We're going to shim these a little tall, and as we go through the season, if we check our spring pressures and they start to weaken a little, we have room to reshim about 70 thousandths to keep the spring pressure rise. So, you know, they saved me a little money there. We could have went dead on with what we had installed at the regular installed height. And once they got weak, we'd have to replace them. So went with a little stronger. We're gonna increase the with this spring. It's actually increasing what they call for, so we can get our spring pressures at a lower and at a, I guess you'd call it a higher installed height. And as the spring weakens, we can shorten that installed height and gain pressure and keep these springs for a lot longer. So it really saved me some money in the long run. I think these springs were $440, and it was about $150 for the shim kit. And on this box, you'll notice that there's a spring tools portion. And if this little mic that actually checks your installed height, I'd never used one of those until this, but I always tried to use like a dial caliper, but we used one on this job, and to be honest, I'll never go back. So if you're doing this, I would definitely encourage you to buy the spring mic to get your installed height really accurate. It's a really nice piece. But we will get these things installed, and we'll kind of take you along on that ride. And you know, welcome to the channel, and I hope it's entertaining and you choose to subscribe and follow the shenanigans. We're not a big dollar race program, but what we lack in money, we make up with fun. So thank you for watching. We'll get back with you.